it's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for June 2023. So on June 21st, we have a major shift in energies with the sun moving into Cancer energy because, of course, this means that it triggers the summer solstice. So we kind of have to understand that the sun has its own cycle, just like all the planets do, just like we do. And of course, the summer solstice is reaching a peak point with the sun in our sky receiving the most heat, the most light codes, if you will. And of course, we enter into a new karmic chapter. We have to go back to the spring equinox when Aries season began that kicked off our new astrological calendar. That was essentially when we got revived, when the sun got revived, when there was a resurrection, a rebirth, if you will. We all came to life. But that was essentially from then until now, the seed planting season and cycle. And now we're moving into a particular point in time where we have to get to work. We actually have to build the right kind of foundation, if you will, the right kind of garden bed, if you will, for those seeds to be successful in actually breaking through the earth and growing into a plant that will eventually give us crops. So there is always a major shift with the summer solstice because, of course, every single time that we close a cycle and a chapter out and begin a new one, there is a new energy, a new vibration, a new frequency. And the sun moving into Cancer energy is always an interesting time because, of course, the moon is in its rulership in Cancer season. That's why it's a very, very sensitive time for us, why we are kind of withdrawn. We become a little bit more introverted. We're a little bit more focused on our inner realms of emotion. We are more focused on just kind of sticking to what is old, tried, tested, and true and familiar. But the contradiction here is that the sun, which is our life force energy, the masculine energy to the moon, if you will, the sun being in Cancer energy, it's like there's an alignment. There's a merging of the masculine and feminine energies, a merging of the unconscious self, which the moon represents, and the conscious self, which the sun represents. And so the merging is an interesting concept to kind of run with, seeing as the division was very, very great in Gemini season. We had very dualistic, polarized, extreme parts of self in a constant battle. Again, very much in the mental plane. We drop things into the heart space in Cancer season because there is a merging of parts, a merging of ideas, a merging of this unconscious with conscious self. So when we move into Cancer season, of course, it is a water energy. That's why things get hypersensitive as well. It is a time where we are very focused on nurturing and nourishing first ourselves, second those people in our lives that are worthy enough to receive our time, our energy, our attention. Typically speaking, Cancer energy is very focused on the home, on the family dynamic. And more oftentimes than not, we do have a lot of inner child issues that come up for healing. And we can also see the connection to the mother role also be a trigger and an activation. So we're definitely getting down to the roots of our pain, our trauma, because of course that's what Cancer energy is all about. It's where we come from. And in that, we get to kind of understand where new boundaries need to be made, need to be created, need to be implemented and enforced in order to protect ourselves. So when we talk about Cancer energy, building new foundations, it is the foundation of taking better care of ourselves, of our loved ones, really pouring into providing ourselves with safety and security and stability in whichever way we can, and really just kind of understanding where it is that we've been divided, where it is that we've been kind of split and torn, and where it is that we have to kind of take and make extra efforts in order to return to a place of wholeness. Now, there is this tendency in Cancer energy to not really want to deal with life or roles or responsibilities. We don't really want to grow up. Again, that inner child wound definitely coming out, full stop. But because the sun, of course, is our life force energy, shining a bright light on what it is that we have to pay attention to, what it is that we have to build and grow and strengthen and secure in our lives, there is a little bit of room for us not to be able to check out, where we are going to have to kind of face the music, face the facts, if you will, and where it is that we're going to have to boss up in some big ways. So considering the fact that Cancer season kind of kicks off this next chapter of creation from now until the fall equinox when Libra season happens, we are definitely going to spend Cancer season kind of low, kind of slow, kind of very focused on our own realms, especially providing the stability in our emotional realm before we get full stop in bringing forth what it is that we are excited to pursue. And of course, we can expect that to really come into fruition with Leo energy, as it is the full, unique, individual expression of self. But of course, just keep in mind that we just came out of Gemini season where the divide was very strong. We have to merge together now, build something out of this new identity, this new circumstance in Cancer season. It will be fully actualized, fully realized, fully expressed in Leo season. So we do have a little bit of work to do, a little bit of building to do before we can actually share this new part of self, this new circumstance, this new idea, this new situation with the people around us. So it's definitely going to be a season for us to find comfort, to find safety, to find security, not outside of ourselves, within ourselves. Again, we're in the year of 7. 7 is about finding balance, finding a grounded point where we can accept, make peace with, harmonize within ourselves, the dark, the light, the good, the bad, the old, the new, everything in between, in order for us to kind of bring forth a new identity, a new timeline, a new soul contract, a new focus, a new project, a new goal. And while we're kind of sitting within ourselves and really trying to build a strong foundation, emotionally speaking, within us, we are going to be examining the external realm and what is either helping the cause or preventing the cause, which means that in a certain sense, Cancer season, typically speaking, is overly nostalgic and tends to romanticize the past because we don't want to make a change. We just want to kind of delude ourselves and kind of fib to ourselves so that we'll settle, because the changes that we're about to make are pretty big. And there is not as much safety and security and stability in the unfamiliar as there is in the familiar, as uncomfortable as the familiar may be. So we're going to kind of struggle with where it is that we have to detach from some of the things that we're recognizing that we're holding on to dear life for and with, in order for us to start something new. But we're definitely be downloaded with new light codes. We are in a new timeline. We are kind of looking at the new soul contracts. We've been exploring new ideas in that Gemini energy, and now we are going to root them, anchor them in, and start building a foundation that we can actually watch these new dreams, these new ideas, these new visions and goals actually be built upon. So check to see in your chart where it is that Cancer season is alive and well, what area of life you should expect the most impact from Cancer energy. And of course, download the Cancer season e-guide for a assist, if you will, a little bit of guidance on what Cancer season will bring and all the astro events that fall under that Cancer season umbrella.